Hi, what's up, stoners? Welcome to the local band Smokeout.
Perfectly Fade Destroyer in the building!
Hell yeah!
We are instantly, yeah, we're live the whole time. Because we've been on Twitch. We've been on Twitch for over 2 hours already.
I didn't know that. You gotta warn people.
This is the warning. Welcome.
Oh yeah, most of the time when we do interviews, they're like, "Oh, here's the staging area, and then we'll go live." Cool. So glad I knew that.
We do all of our stuff completely live the whole time, so fans can ask questions at the same time simultaneously. It just makes it more fun. But you guys are awesome. I know. We've been friends for a hot minute, but how have you been? For those that may not know you, could you please properly introduce yourself? Let us know whereabouts in the world you're kicking it right now. Plug or promote anything.
We are FDS. We used to go by Fate Destroyed, but you know it's an AFI thing. It's an acronym, and we are in Los Angeles, California. I am Francesca Destruct. This is my guitar player,
Chris?
Kennedy guitars. Yeah, he used to be my bass player, and then now he's my guitar player, which I really like.
So you prefer to FDS now?
Yeah, so we went through a whole rebranding. So
right.
If you notice, like, the only person in the band who's the same as him. And so as part of that, so there's a couple reasons I changed the name. First of all is like, I'm so sick of having this conversation. Chris asked me, what's the name of our band?
What's the name of our band?
Oh, it's Fate Destroyed.
Oh, not Faith Destroyers?
No, it's Fate Destroyed.
Fate Destroyed.
Oh.
Fate.
Fate. So we don't do that anymore. So now it's just FDS.
That's literally every conversation we had. It was a running joke. You take a checklist of how many times they got it wrong.
They'd be like, Fate Destroyed, Fate Destroyer. And then who's the guy from was it Atreyu?
He said Face Destroyers.
Atreyu said Fate Destroyers, and then we got a song. And then we did a song with the song that's about to come out called 47. We did it with Morgoth Beats, and I was looking at the track listing he sent me, and it says Fate Destroyer, and then I was like, no. So that was the first reason.
Is Spotify gonna update it as well?
So we can't. So that's the reason it's FDS. So you can't actually change your artist name on Spotify, but what we did, so if you look, FDS, everything that's capitalized, it's still our name. So if you think about like a Fire Inside, everybody knows them as AFI.
Right.
Are they actually a Fire Inside? Yes, but we are going to be FDS. It's kind of weird, but on the one hand, it's kind of good because now we don't have to like go through, because if we were to lose, I mean, we have millions of streams on our Spotify. It would be such a shame to lose all that, to start over. So, yeah.
There we go.
I mean, everything about what we're doing is like new, right? So, when we first came out, we were definitely a metalcore band, and I think that came a lot from just me being inexperienced. And in general, I've never been a singer before this. Everything I'd ever done was being an instrumentalist. So
I've never been a bass player before this.
High five.
And now you guys kind of are slightly more trap metal, correct?
Right. So we kind of dipped our toes in. I was always interested in that kind of sound, but when I first started the band, I think a lot of it was just I wanted to do what was popular. I wanted to I liked metalcore, but I don't know. I just wanted to. I was like, well, are people gonna like this? Is everyone else gonna like it? And now when we write music, I'm like, am I gonna fucking like it?
I feel like you're writing music
that I want to play.
And that you would even. I mean, you would definitely listen to this now, definitely. But it's coming from a place of genuine. It's just more genuine from the heart. What we have coming up in the future, which is, I'm not going to speak too much, but the most personal thing.
You guys want to hear a clip of our new single? We haven't even put a teaser out for it yet.
Of course we do.
Yes.
Of course we do.
So this was produced by Morgoth Beats. We've done Scarlord, Polyphia, Juice WRLD, MGK, big people. Great, he's really great. And then the person who mixed it was this guy named Nick Scott. He's mixed for Icy Stars.
Oh hell yeah! I love Icy Stars.
Yeah, I think they were releasing one album.
Dude, Icy Stars is so lit. They're I feel like they're kind of under-recognized.
Do you want me to only play 20 or 30 seconds of it?
That's how long it is.
Oh,
okay. Just make sometimes.
It's not out anymore.
Right, yeah, we have a teaser clip. It is less than that.
No, I was just gonna actually play a little bit of the actual song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Chris, can you keep them entertained?
Can you message it to me on Facebook real quick while I play Mutation? We'll give it a second to cue it up. And what is Mutation about?
So, oh my gosh, Should I tell them what it's actually about?
Maybe I don't even know now.
Are you guys gonna judge me so hard? Are you ready?
I'm listening.
I wrote this song because at the time I really was unhappy with my band. I wrote it as a hate song to them.
Oh. Sorry, Chris. Sorry. No, I'm just playing. It's a great song though. It came out great. So sometimes that makes the best material.
Well, but I didn't actually hate them. I think what it was more like music is always the outlet for frustration, for anger, for happiness, for love, for whatever it is that you're feeling. And like I was having a really shitty day, and the song was so angry, and I was like really frustrated about because there were things that were happening at the time that like really translated into my life. And the song is really about when you just feel like you give so much, and it's like it changes who you are, right? So
The
like,
breakdown makes sense now.
and you just can't take anymore. You change to something different. I'm totally letting Neil Johnny do that.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just about the evolution of the band, which I mean, in a sense, it is.
It is. And now we don't know the lineup. So
I mean, I'm still here.
yeah. Well,
He still digs it. He still thinks it's a cool song.
All right, he's gonna keep you entertained while I go do stuff.
Yeah, and then send me that clip. If you could message me the clip that you want me to play, the 30-second clip.
So how cool was that local band Smokeout? That was the shit. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you guys for coming, man. I'm sorry it was like 103 degrees and it was wicked crazy hot. We might do it again now that we know what we're doing, because that's like my first time ever doing something like that. I normally do like smaller shows, but you guys killed it though, for real. Good
Thank
stuff.
you. Yeah, so her car broke down like 10 minutes before the set started, and she literally bounced from driver's seat to the stage. It was fucking wild. Like,
I remember the story. We were like, where's Francesca? Where's Francesca? There she is. She comes running. She's like, I know. Let's kill it right now.
But it was as fashionably entrance as possible, and
For real.
the whole event was awesome. So thank you.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you had fun. Let's play Mutation while we get set up. Do you bounce around to different producers and mixers and masters like per single, or do you guys tend to stick with like the same?
Mutation was the same producer who had done Let's Crash, and I think that was maybe it, named Lily, who's credited on this.
Yeah, she produced it. Yeah.
Yeah. So she did at least those two songs I'm aware of. But we're right now definitely branching out to different producers and even different mixers, because I think in the business you don't want to have the same ears on your mix as you do on the production. So we have different, the writer takes it to the producer, that product gets hammered out, then we take that to a mix and master.
Writer.
Well, I mean, either I
yeah.
started, you started, someone else started.
Yeah.
We take those ideas to a producer who helps flesh them out, and then they get the process to a third mixer master person. Just like Mutation was that way. Mutation was mixed and mastered by Cody from the Brownie. The upcoming track, like we mentioned, is going to be mixed by Nick Scott, who we talked about, did Icy Stars and Attila.
Oh yeah. My special co-host today is Michaela. Michaela, do you have any questions for Chris or Francesca?
So, like, you guys newer material, like, what is, like, the overall vibe? Are you going more, like, the trap metal style? Are you guys mixing up more new elements? Like, what can we expect?
Definitely mixing the trapcore for sure. She listens to a lot of the trapcore. I'm still more in the metal genre, but she sends me stuff to reference and to learn from. Being new to the genre, I'm absorbing as much as I possibly can because I enjoy it for sure.
So I want to answer this question, but I got to probably.
Yeah, cool. So Mutation was like some stuff from Two Tone Hearts is closer in that we dipping our toes in that genre. Yeah, Mutation a little closer, and then what we have coming up in the future is definitely going to be, I think, more full-fledged, like what we hear, what she hears.
I do want to also jam Death Signs too, because Death Signs I think is my favorite of all the new material. That one just goes hard in the paint instantly.
That is one of my favorite songs to play live. Like I go pretty balls out when I play that song.
It's one of those records where you're just like, what the is that? I gotta go over here and see what this is. Hold on, it's like I gotta see what this is going on.
And those are actually what's cool about this video is that so when I tell the story about me, like this is my car club. These are like my car friends. We actually do hood rat stuff very legally, not in Mexico, in Mexico on private driveways with cars that are definitely smog legal.
Hell yeah. Chat has a question. They want to know if you guys would work with an EDM producer, someone like
Love to.
Sullivan King.
Love to. So I actually heard. I know I'm kind of old, so I'm late to this party. But I heard the other day it was like screamo, like hardcore music over dubstep, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah, that's kind of what Sullivan King does. He like
Yeah,
screams.
Sullivan King, yeah. That's what
Fucking
I'm
love.
yeah.
I love Sullivan King. Sullivan King is like the future of that genre. If you didn't
And there's
invent
another,
it, he's one of the best.
there's another band called Quiet, or it's like QOITE or something like that. That's in that same genre that does. So anyway, yes, I want to. And the thing is like, so I like started my solo project for a lot of reasons, but like it's super on the low. I'm not playing any shows with it. I'm not even marketing it. I literally will just like post a story and then drop a track in a music video, and that's it. But the reason that I started doing that is because I felt like, or I feel like, and I'm sure many bands feel this way, where it's like you feel like you kind of only get to do one thing, right? Like how many times can I write a fucking metalcore song? Like how many times can I write a big open chorus with like a metal verse? Like it just gets boring. So now it's like we're gonna be much more free with our genre and kind of experiment. So yeah, I would love to work with an EDM label.
Yeah, we are. I think less limited now in this lineup than I've only been in the band for about a year and a half, something like that. So how limited it was before my time, and how unlimited it is now, I'm very excited about.
I know that you guys kind of have like, aside from you two, you have like revolving live performers. Your drummer that you had that also had the blue streak in his hair. We played a song the other day on the show, and it was a completely different band. I'd never heard of the band, and there he was drumming for that band in the music video. It was another female fronted band. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's a band.
It was great though. Whatever.
I know, it's Vigil of War is the name of the band. But no, for sure. I mean, so it is difficult to find a permanent drummer in Los Angeles because the problem is like our schedule is about to get insanely busy. So now the unfortunate thing is like to be in our band would mean that somebody would really have to like commit the majority of their time to being in our band, and it's like that's hard to do when you're in like 6 other bands, which every drummer in Los Angeles is in.
you just now notice the Kyle from Visual.
Michaela, I have a wild idea. There's the likeliness of this actually happening is so unlikely.
Somebody find me a chick drummer.
If the drummer from Bantamweight could play the trap parts on keyboard and piano, because there's this band called Bantamweight that drums and plays keyboard at the same time and can do the whole section while drumming. And I'm just wondering if he would ever consider joining a second band, but he would be the absolute most perfect fit. And he lives in LA.
I'm
gonna see what I can do really quick. I do want to play Death Signs, and then Francesca, if it's okay with you, I do want to play Deep End as well.
For my solo stuff, yeah, of course.
Before we do all that though, let's do some trivia. To do the trivia though, I need to know what either your favorite movie or TV show of all time is. I'm gonna look up trivia on it.
Oh, that's fucking easy. Fight Club and Sunny in Philly.
Fight Club.
Okay, heard. You gave me a lot to work with. Let's start with Fight Club. But first, Death Signs. Death Signs, absolute banger. I found a Fight Club question, but I think it's too easy, so I'm gonna search one more. But what is Deep End about before we play this?
So I kind of went through a traumatic experience recently where I found somebody that I was really in love with, and then he succumbed to mental illness and he took his life last month. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it, but the point is I kind of wrote this song as if it was written from his perspective, like how I felt that he felt, and that's why it's called Off the Deep End. Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss. First and foremost, but let's play it. I think I'm gonna go with Sunny in Philadelphia as my trivia, but just give me a second. All right, but first, Chris, I think it's time that we stump you, sir. So here we go. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Who won the dance marathon in the episode The Gang Dances Their Butts Off?
Is that the Dance Off episode?
Is it Dance Off episode?
It just says The Gang Dances Their Butts Off. Who won the dance marathon?
Fuck. God damn it. Yeah, I know. It's when they put the kegs on. They're trying to slow everybody down. Fuck.
It says this person was Frank's horse.
God damn it. That's actually a good one.
I don't watch
I do, but so that's a good fucking question. There's so many fucking characters in that episode.
You stumped him, dude. Okay.
You might have stopped me. Hold on.
What you don't know about Chris is he's actually secretly an oracle. So no, try. Let me tell you. Seriously, you cannot beat him at 7 degrees with Kevin Bacon. You physically,
that's for sure.
You can't. You literally, you can't. It's impossible. You tried.
Was it Rickety Cricket that won that?
Wait, say that again.
Was it Rickety Cricket that won that? Natty Morrow?
It is not. You have been stumped.
Yeah, you got me.
Did you happen to bring any hot sauce? Did I bring any hot sauce?
Did you bring any hot sauce?
Yes.
We actually do have some hot sauce.
Yes! Excellent! I will do some hot sauce with you, but the answer is Larry. Larry the Bum. It says Larry the Bum was Frank's horse in the dance marathon after Frank drops out. I have officially stumped you. Crave is probably the most popular song according to the Spotify algorithm. Is this a fan favorite? Is this one that you guys favor, or is this one of those Spotify algorithm things?
So let me tell you a story about Crave. And I tell this story, and I mean it every fucking time, right? So while we were all in lockdown, we were all really frustrated, and we were like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We're never gonna get to play live music. So anyway, everything we had done up until then, spent $5 grand on video and $2 grand on marketing and like all this shit. It was so much money, and we were like, you know what? Fuck it. We filmed a music video for that on cell phone in like 5 different states and just threw it up. We didn't put a dime of marketing into it, and like it's now our most like. So the moral is,
I love how that works out.
The moral is don't try, and all of your dreams will come true. Just stop fucking trying. No effort. 0 effort.
You've been trying so hard as a band. Finally, just don't try anymore, and everything just magically works out. I get it.
Get 1 million streams on Spotify.
Hell yeah. Well, cheers, Chris. I'm gonna do some Hawaiian lava flow hot sauce.
Oh, that sounds so good. I love Hawaiian flavors.
That's pretty hot.
Let's jam Crave for a second.
Yeah, so sticker mule makes mule sauce, and I've just chugged this.
Let's go.
Yes.
If YouTube.
Oh my god.
Oh, YouTube does not like this one. YouTube's not feeling this one. I'm not sure why. But Michaela, do you have another question for the band?
What's up?
What were your guys like influences growing up? Like what first got you into like music and like being in bands?
So I grew up in a musical family. My stepdad used to work for Interscope Records, so I was like around that shit my whole life. But what really wasn't for me is the Judas video by A Perfect Circle, because I was a bass player long before I was ever.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, a bass.
I was a bass player long before. Yeah, that bass is custom made for me. It's got anyway. So that's what I did for years, and so I saw Paz. I was really young. I saw Paz like do the thing where she puts her hair up right before the thing comes back in, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And I learned how to play bass, and I've been making music ever since.
What's your guys' most painful tattoos?
Oh Jesus.
I will show you, but I promise I'm not going to show you anything weird. I swear it's going to look like I'm going to do something, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do anything I'm going to do. Okay? I'm not doing it. Don't worry. I'm not going to. That one.
Oh yeah, that one looks painful. I don't have my stomach tattooed. I have like my lower inner hip area, but that like gap, like a hand-sized gap I have on my stomach missing, and that's
worst. Maybe not while it was getting done. Maybe, but the day, like the morning after the ditch was done, may have been the worst because I'm constantly moving.
Yeah, the little bend area.
Yeah, I was in the sun. I had to go like out to grocery shop, and as soon as the sun hit it, it felt like it was blowtorch cutting my arm off.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's like the worst. Like at least after of that.
You wanna know what's weird? My least painful tattoo was my face. Like, while I was getting tattooed, I was like talking to the guy, and I was like,
She got that in prison.
I did actually. I got it at the Ohio State.
In Rotorord, yeah. She got that in the Shawshank prison.
I got it in the Shawshank prison. I did.
What?
What? Yeah.
That's awesome. Shout out to Shawshank.
It's not a lie.
Is that awesome? Yeah, I think that's awesome. Cool. It's a memoir.
That's hardcore as fuck.
He was like tattooing my face, and I was like, I'm not paying like $200 to get drawn away a Sharpie, and I literally couldn't even feel it. It was so weird.
Hey, they know what they're doing over at the redemption spot over there.
In the
for
shop
sure.
in the redemption prison.
Yeah. Chris, we're gonna try this one more time, sir. Here we go.
All right. I don't like losing at this game. This is like my pride and joy right here.
We've asked this before, but it's been a while. What artist are Dennis and Dee listening to on the porch in the episode The Gang Goes on Welfare?
Oh, that's you, Biz Markie. You got what I need.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. You have seen a couple episodes, apparently.
Hell yeah. I'm glad I listened to the rest of the questions. I thought you were going to be Winwood. I'm never gonna or
Well done.
Rick Roll or some shit. But yes.
You get to now pick.
How many people? You said you asked that question before. How many people get it right?
The other person did not get it. Well done. Pick a number 1 through 15. This is all I can.
Yeah.
This is all I can give you. Pick a number 1 through 15.
7.
7 heard. Michaela, set up one last question, and I'll add a couple more.
Favorite snack?
This one's. Of course, yeah. Do you guys? What do you guys prefer? Indica, sativa, hybrid? What's your thing?
I'm a sativa gal, and let's do this thing. Hold on,
Let's get it.
Smoke weed every day.
Let's get it. That's all you gotta say.
I currently do not smoke weed, but I have, and I love it. But I miss it. But, yeah. But
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
My favorite weed was, if it's still around, Blue Dream and Candyland were my favorites. Those
Oh,
are just,
Blue Dream,
I
maximum
love Blue
sativa
Dream,
for
too.
sure.
Dude, Blue Dream would I couldn't even process I was in reality with that. I was like, what the heck is this right now?
Did you guys send me the snippet? Oh yeah, we got it.
I believe she did. I think she sent it on Facebook Messenger. Yeah, that's where it should be at.
We got it. So it is only a 36, so I can play all 36 seconds?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Dude, literally nobody has heard this. I don't even think my mom has heard this yet.
Let's get to it. Here we go. And cheers.
Cheers.
Despite all the noise, they don't see echo the sound of your voice. The sound of my voice, found one head off the board that destroys. Open my eyes to the sound of your voice. I gave up on existence, fed up with forgiveness. To the well red dry, and fastened my eyes and left for persistence. Previously, these are rejoicing, these nights on me suffering endlessly. That's all I felt like I left for me. That's all I thought I had left for me.
Yes.
From the storm, the skies are black. Thought that he couldn't speak my heartbeats. I react, mesmerized, and I won't look back.
Oh. okay. All right. I see.
That's gonna be so good.
Yo, that is gonna be a banger for sure. It all kicked in right too, right when the snip.
Well, yeah, can't give you the whole thing.
Of course. I love the speed vocal hip hop style too. Good stuff.
I'm like obsessed with Gwen Stefani. That's like my goal. I want to be the Gwen Stefani of trap metal. Mark my words.
Yeah, I can cheers to that any day of the week. This is Mount Fuji magma hot sauce.
Guys.
And I'm gonna jam some of this in a second. Before I ask our final questions, what is a song that's not in your guys' set list that just is important to you? It means something. You still want the fans to know about this record, it just may not be in the everyday set.
I don't think there are any though.
That almost might just be a you question, because if there's another song, I guess it makes sense. I've only played the songs we've played. You know, like
Yeah, no, I mean,
we haven't dropped. As soon as I've been performing, there haven't been a lot of songs that we've dropped that I miss. You know.
yeah, I mean,
So maybe in a year we'll drop something that I'll be like, oh, I miss playing that.
I think the other thing is like there are songs that
Speak Your Name, I'm gonna miss a lot, which I know how you feel about that.
yeah, I mean, there are songs that were important to me at the time, but are not as important to me now. And I think like what is weird with our band versus a lot of bands is like, everybody goes through like an awkward teen phase when they're like discovering who they are as an artist. But the problem is like most bands, before they get lots of numbers on Spotify or playing festivals, like they have the time to do that. But for us, because our first song got curated and then we got booked on festival shows before we even had 5 songs to play. So it was like, you know, I went through, I guess, I don't hate the music that we put out before because it served its place. And I think a lot of it, I mean, all of it has meaning to me in some way. But I think like it had its time and place and I'm like ready to move on to different things. So it's hard for me to look back at somewhere else when I see what I'm doing now as progress, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. This is FDS's sound is what we're getting now. is what you're saying.
Exactly.
I get
And
it. I totally get it.
I'm excited for it. So I think Mutation is a good one. Let me see, but that one's already up. People know about that one.
Yeah,
What about,
we're not dropping that anytime soon.
I mean, Let's Crash is really cool, but we do play it live. But I don't think I think the live version is much better than the recorded version, though.
It translates super well live, for sure.
So Speak Your Name is probably one. It's from our debut album. That was really, actually, a song that is not very well done, but is still very meaningful to me. Is called My Surrender from our first album. I don't think the band has listened to that song.
I've heard that song. I have no idea.
It was like an Alanis Morissette kind of feel vibe to it, but it still is like metal. It's like slow. I don't know. I like that song a lot.
Nice Surrender. Hell yeah. Do you think you'll ever work into the set you jumping back on bass and maybe whoever's on bass that day doing like a last little verse section just for the OG fans?
I know there was a joke on the previous tour where like we should all switch, but that was like I think a band joke. Because no one in the band is.
It just looks cool live from like an audience perspective. You're like holy shit, they just all switched. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we should do. You sing and I'll play bass.
Oh, you want me to be fired and have the band be canceled?
Hell yeah. Now we're talking. No, I'm just kidding. No, not that. No, we don't want that. We don't want that.
That's a fucking move.
I know my limits, man. Like, nah.
That's hilarious.
He just comes in and goes blah, and that's it. Just one little, and then you just do a bass solo and ride out.
I think I got I'm opening to learning that skill, but I cannot articulate music vocally. So.
Hell yeah, we've got time just for a couple more questions. Final questions. We'll say, Michaela, what is your final question for the band?
Favorite snack?
Favorite snack? Am I high or am I so?
Munchy snack. Favorite munchy snack.
Yeah, favorite munchy snack. Favorite munchy. Yeah.
So like, okay, mine's lame. I love grapes.
You know what?
It's not even funny. I love grapes. I think they're like when you're high and like they're so juicy and crisp and cold, and they just like melt in your mouth. So I like.
I feel that.
Have you ever had the cotton candy grapes?
Yes.
Yes.
I've never had them. I'm on a mission to get the cotton candy grapes.
You can make
They're
them
so
at
good.
home.
I can-
You just roll them in Kool-Aid and then freeze them. It's easy.
That sounds dope. I thought that was
And then, so that's like my favorite. Like, if I'm just like sitting there mindlessly eating. Now, the food that I don't keep in my house because I'll definitely weigh 800 pounds. I fucking love cheesecake. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, cheesecake is fire. Chris, what you got? Favorite.
Swear to God, is it Takis?
It's fucking definitely Takis.
Oh my god. Nobody.
Takis.
With the regular ones or the blue ones?
His wife is gonna kill me because you know what? We were on our last tour, and his wife Corinne was like, basically like, make sure you eat something other than Takis. Please don't let him die on this tour.
It's hard to find vegan food in a lot of states, and I do my best at gas stations, and Takis is like my #1 go-to everywhere. And it's not sustainable.
No, but it was like 8 days of just Takis. I'm like, how does your butthole feel, man? That must be like awful. Just straight Takis for 8
Awful.
days. Eat a freaking vegetable, bro.
I wish this was a joke. This is not a bit.
It is pretty funny though, for sure. Let's ask one final serious question though. But give me a piece of musical advice somebody in the industry has told you that was kind of like a game changer for you as far as taking your career seriously, or the worst mistake you ever made as a band that you don't want any starting up garage band to make.
Can I answer both of them if I'm fast?
Absolutely.
So I think that the best, if you're talking about in terms of like composition, in terms of writing, then we can talk about that, which is just basically that you have to let vocals breathe. Like, I don't know why that made such a big difference for me, but I think a lot of times, especially as a novel vocalist, I just wanted to fill the space. 2 seconds felt so awkward. So I was just like trying to fit whatever I could in that space. And I think giving the instruments a chance to shine and letting the vocals breathe a little bit was a game changer for me in terms of music. Now, if you want to talk about what changed the game for me in terms of how to make a band successful, the big difference for me is I literally started clocking in and clocking out. Every day after work, I would say, okay, I have to be at work band from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And I would sit down at my computer and I would clock in and I kept a time card for myself. And so I was like, I forced myself to treat it like a job. And in a way that's kind of like, you're like, oh, it's supposed to be fun. But in the other way, it's like, if you give it that kind of dedication, things happen so much faster. And your mind automatically takes it more seriously. You're more committed. You're more like, it just is a part of your life every day. Because what I've seen a lot is people be like, well, this is what I want. You know, I want to play festivals. Cool. Well, how many festival submissions are you sending out every day? How many people's contact info are you getting? How many EPKs have you sent out? You know, and they're like, oh, well, You know what I mean?
Hustling.
So
People waiting to be discovered doesn't often work at all. Just, I mean, play the shows you want to play, but like, don't hope that dude's in the audience gonna just find you to interscope that moment. Like, you have to bust.
remember that one time when I had the worst show of my life and James Groove was in the crowd on Slipknot?
It was a fun
I
show.
never wanted to unalive more in my
Yeah, we had
life.
2 people in the audience. Someone else's girlfriend from another band, and Jim Groove from Slipknot.
We've all had bad shows. Don't worry. But that's a big one. That's a big one for sure.
I couldn't stay. So I had lost. We slept in someplace in Arizona, and we like left the windows in the van open, and it was like negative 25 million degrees. It was so cold.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next day, and my voice was like, ah! And I was like, oh no. So I was fighting a lost voice. But anyway, yeah. So, and I think the worst mistake that we ever made as a band that I want to recommend other bands not making: never rely on a venue to have anything ever. Never do it. Don't ever go to a venue and say, oh, I'm sure they'll have a DI box, or I'm sure they'll have this cable, or I'm sure they don't have shit. It's an empty room. Bring all of it, and bring 2 of them.
Yeah, that.
Bring 2 of them.
Bring 2 of them. We've all had bad shows, but it happens. But you guys have more awesome shows than not, I would say, overall. And you're a kick-ass band. And I love the fact that you've changed format to be a little more trap metal friendly. The sample that you showed us was amazing. I cannot wait to hear that in its entirety. You guys been killing on the festivals, but just killing it as human beings in general. Hustling, and that's what we appreciate.
You too, dude. You're out there. You just hit like, do you hit like 25,000 followers?
20,000. 20,000
No.
subscribers, right?
No, we broke like 10,000 last month, but we'll probably break 14,000 later today. We're getting like almost 200 subs a day on YouTube.
Dude,
That's
it's
insane.
insane. That's like, so I got it on Instagram and TikTok, whatever, but like I suck at YouTube.
It's so hard. It's such
so
a grind.
hard.
You grind, dude. You're on this thing like 12 hours a day, it seems.
You know what?
It's about right.
When you first started arguing, and you first started doing this, and it was like, I remember our first time we got interviewed. Well, you weren't there. When we first got interviewed or did one for a local band, Smokeout, and it was like, there were people, but it was not anything like it is now. And to watch you guys watch your meteoric rise and like see all the stuff you do in the scene that you're giving back to the metal community by putting on festivals and shows, like that shit fucking matters.
And
So
the
like,
bands that you showed, that you air, I become fans of. Like,
Exactly.
it is literally like,
Make me cry.
hard.
You're gonna make me cry. This is the kindest outro I've ever had. Seriously. Thank you so much. God bless you guys for real. FDS, please support them. If you're watching, hit the follow button. Support that band. If you get a chance to see them live, trust me, go and do that. FDS, have yourself a fantastic day. Francesca, Chris, let's go!
Give me a hell yeah!
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.